All right, Mema Machi, welcome to Onside with me, Joshua. Hello to transfer stories up here right about now, and we are going to go into the details. A bit in common, and then I don't know me catch them. We say I'll bring you the standoff relating to Julian Alvarez to Barcelona. I have all the details here, and I'll give you that very soon. But before we do that, please subscribe, guys. Subscribe, subscribe, and thank you so much, all those who choose to watch my analysis and who choose to enjoy it. Right, I'm so happy that you are here. Thank you so much. But please subscribe. For those who haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. If you're a new watch, just subscribe. Turn on the post notification. Click on the all button at the top. They be drop a video. I'll be one of the first people to receive it. Then you can also share your comments. Tell me what you love about the analysis, what you expect from the window, your respective club as signing players there. Catch them in the comments. They didn't come on. But let's go into the details because Julian Alvarez won't come to see her. But last night, a couple of things came up and transfers, Anopay, Mehu Bibi. Very, very interesting transfer story. I'll give you very shortly. Guys, Xabi Alonso say or Martin Zubimendi. Martin Zubimendi from team my friend Arsenal. Hey, Martin Zubimendi from Arsenal. I'll tell you why that is coming up shortly. And it looks like Lewis Hall. Become United and I won't call. It's not so clear, but Fabrizio Romano is giving an update on his player. Lewis Hall currently about football Newcastle United. And Newcastle United situation on my film. I've brought you all of that analysis and all of that information. And we are going to talk about Lewis Hall. But let's start from Abrantia Freno, Martin Zubimendi, as they say. Abba Bontin says, Xabi Alonso, giddy. And in fact, according to the news that we are hearing, if Xabi Alonso gets this player, it looks like he'll be a very happy man. And I'm wondering, what exactly is it about player friend Martin Zubimendi? Xabi Alonso, because in that midfield, Chelsea has Caicedo over there. Chelsea has Enzo Fernandez over there. Now, Omar Morgan Rogers, but of course, that he will play in the attack. But even look at Dario Esuwamoho, Romeo Lavia, and so on. So at least you have four typical midfielders who can play both holding and also box to box over there. Until why would he want to go for Abrantia Freno? Martin Zubimendi. Now, Simon Phillips was the one reporting this particular story, right? Simon Phillips, a journalist, UK, and he was giving a very, very instructive comment. Also, it's not as though what is going to happen is that I'm just seeing something say Alonso will be the first manager to be sacked, and I am a striker, but now, guys, listen. Xabi Alonso catch Chelsea for say he wants to sign Arsenal midfielder friend Martin Zubimendi this summer, right? And listen to the reason. He says that Zubimendi is a player that he likes, right? And he has admired him for a while. Inti Utimu said the kind of profile Martin Zubimendi that is what he admires. But to create that impression in the media and related to transfers, they will try and link the player with the club. So it's not necessarily say, hey, Martin Zubimendi probably joining Chelsea. Because as of now, he's still a very important member of Arteta Arsenal. And I can assume that perhaps if the right price comes for the player, Arsenal may consider selling the player. Because Omakofa Bruno Giaba. And even though Martin Zubimendi will be still needed for squad depth, it was reported a few days ago, he said player Unyaya will be free. But of course, Odegaard has also been linked away from the club. Same as Abrante Fene Martinelli. Of course, Leandro Trossard referred that Okobe Besiktas. So in this window, everything is possible. But as I'm speaking, I don't think Arsenal will want to sell Zubimendi for anything less than £800 million. Of course, because when you even look at the public sentiment around the story now, I'm for Burberry of course, now we'll find a player, rival team, Fasikabra, and even add a player to it and bring him and take him away, which is something that I don't think would happen. Inti, what this tells me, and I say, if there's a similar player in the markets like Martin Zubimendi, I'm sure Alonso will be looking at that player. And which player am I talking about? Alex Scott. Guys, I don't think Chelsea's interest in Alex Scott is not dead. in the coming days, if Chelsea ever home to sell a couple of players, they will try as much as possible to bring Alex Scott. And I will not be shocked that the way Martins Zubimendi plays, no, when you compare it to Alex Scott, no, there are quite some similarities over there. And that is what Alonso Airshire. That is what Alonso Airshire. So that is the interesting thing about this story. It's not that Chelsea is going to take Zubimendi from us now. That may not necessarily be the case. As Alonso may be sending a certain signal, but as a man for Adrian and Shadan Koho. Yeah, so let's keep our eyes on the ground because Nyebesino, a very, very interesting. I know that Chelsea wants to make maybe 1 or 2 more marquee signings and now we know Abewi. It was said a few days ago, said that Diogo Costa na Adrian will be free sporting CP about Chelsea. No, the clubs have not had any conversation. I'll give you more updates on that in the coming days, but what I received, and they said the clubs have not had any conversation. So it's likely said Chelsea for now would want to rely on Robert Sanchez for the season, which I don't agree with. I have typical reservations for that. I don't agree with it. Baku say But let's wait and see. That Diogo Costa may just come back again and may go through. Chelsea for now had even agreed, said they were going to meet the player 60 million euros a year release clause. So I don't know how that suddenly died because I saw a report said the clubs have not negotiated and it was not going to happen. And I really want to hope, say, that is not the situation because we need a goalkeeper. We are going to see in China at least one more typical holding midfielder because I'm pretty sure Romeo Lavia will go and perhaps Dario Esu will also be free. But even if Dario Esu stays and Romeo Lavia leaves, right, it will mean that Chelsea will have only 3 typical holding midfielders and maybe box to box. Enzo Fernandez, Moise Caicedo, and Dario Esu himself. The Alex Scott either Alex Scott or Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton is lefty. So I would have preferred Adam Wharton. But Adam Wharton, no, Crystal Palace £100 million before they release the player. 100. Yeah, Ben Alex Scott, no, but Bournemouth for they will not accept the 64 million that Chelsea were proposing. So they were valuing the player around 70, 75, even though they didn't say it. But I know very well that Chelsea at the 70, 75, Bournemouth so Okofa like Scotta, they will release the player to go. But that would be a very difficult deal to do because it means that Chelsea for one would have to sell a couple of players more for hefty amounts. And that's where the speculation comes in about Pedro Neto, the possibility of moving to Manchester City for about £81 million and even possibly a Liverpool for over £70 million. But let's keep our eyes on the ground, guys. Chelsea for now, keep your eyes on the ground because Martin Zubimendi, the news around him is not about him. It's about something that Xabi Alonso wants to do. So that is how I am seeing it. This is Top High Fabrizio. I'm giving you all the exclusive, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, share as well. Let other people also get to enjoy this analysis. Guys, let's talk about Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez because you see that transfer saga, sometimes when I look at it very well, you see those transfer stories that have the potential of becoming very, transformative in how we view player opinions and how clubs try to also retain their players. No, story we of course, do you know why? Julian Alvarez had made it clear during the World Cup, say, Opeso free Atletico Madrid. All right. Now, when that statement was made, he made it publicly. When he said Okokano Kukum, it was quite clear and explicit. So he wanted to leave Barcelona. Now, Barcelona make that interest in the player and offer up to about 100 million euros to sign the player. Atletico Madrid have a release clause in the player's contract. That states say he will not leave for anything less than 500 million euros. And when you see something like that, it's very simple. They are trying to say the player is not for sale. And but here's the player who wants to go. So as a club, we at Atletico Madrid, what do you have to do? You have to sit down with the player and talk. But Ekoye say, oh, Masa, yeah, manunko player no yeah, will control or so. But that thing backfired. It backfired. Because as we speak now, no, Atletico Madrid have set August 10th, say, players are World Cup, they must return to training, they must return to camp. And I'm pretty sure, one of the things that's going to happen is, say, Alvarez will have a choice, whether to go back to training or make it explicitly clear again to Atletico Fone say he wants to go. So August 10th is not far away from us, and it's 6th. It will be just few days near. He will have to make it clear again to them, say he wants to leave. And that is where the problem may come from. Because player no, he either has to force and go, or he will have to remain. And Deco, or yes, sporting director of Barcelona, he has already gone to have conversations with player and agents. Right? They have had meetings and they have made it clear that now they are going to strategize and find a way to finally present another offer, which may be a little bit higher than 100 million euros, no, to try and lure the players to come and join them. And you know, Alvarez, they'll be counting on him. I had Deku. The Alvarez and the agents no couldn't come out. Now they'll be counting on him, the player, to make it publicly. Bium, so person free Atletico Madrid, Ekoboma, Barcelona. And now, no, Barcelona president, I friend Juan Laporta, he has strategically made it also clear that by August 10th, if a deal is not reached for the player, Barcelona will pursue other alternatives. The dynamics are getting very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. That tension way between the player and the club, where the club says, on my own court, and the player needs to either, oblige and then try and go back and play, or the player decides to sit out. We saw that during Alexander Isak's transfer from Newcastle to my friend Liverpool. Player wanted to go. It was his own mad training. So he decided to flout the rules. And even though it angered Newcastle for no, they had no choice at the end of the day to sell the player for 130 million pounds. So Julian Alvarez now, it's not about whether he will go for 120, 130 million euros. The story is about whether he will force his way out and validate the situation of it's about the player's preference and not about it's not about the club's control over the player. Yeah. Once he's able to force his way out, it gives every player the right to be able to demand their exit, and that will set a precedence in the Europe and in football. Yeah. Because look, very, very, very interesting. Yeah. Very, very, very interesting. So that's the situation with Abrantia, friend, Julian Alvarez. Nabil Fekir has signed for Saudi Arabian club Abha on a free transfer. Abha for no have made it clear. Nabil Fekir, hey, the guy fell off at the point span. I'm wondering how he intends to rise up from that. Guys, this is Onside with me, Joshua Olo. More stories about from Fabrizio Romano, Mamamo. Exclusives, no? Yeah. As we speak, no? Mikel Arteta has spoken. See, we are going to attack every trophy. That's the ambition. All the work I've done in the summer is to understand that what we need to do to win again and create a dynasty at this football club. That's the aim. Pressure is on Arteta, no doubt. After winning the league, you have to be dominant in the English Premier League. And almost signing Bruno G, the announcement to be made. But that is an indication of where they want to go. Because my candidate and Nambeya analysis know how important Bruno G is in that midfield. Obviously, about 6. Obviously, about 8. Obviously, about right midfield. So, in different variations, where there will be an absence of Declan Rice or Zubimendi or even Odegaard, you have a Bruno G whose presence alone can create different tactics that Arteta can use to win games. But how can you remain competitive? Because I know they've lost Trossard. And their speculation say a couple of players could leave, and I've said it. But he has to keep in his mind, say, if you have to win, you need to be able to have a posture. And that is what he's saying right here. But that posture alone is not enough. You need to get the players and the right tools. Into Akoto Christos Solis. I know, player we showed the performance for Club Brugge last season. He played, I think, 74 times and scored over 33 goals. So he's a good player. Maybe track record, he's proven, but he's now coming into the Premier League from Air Belgium. And that could be another test for the player, but they need to settle down quickly in a team that must remain competitive. And after they have done the Champions League final last season, pressure also on Champions League final this season again. So Arteta knows the pressure. And because he's not having so much activity in the transfer market, so I would expect in the next few days before the window ends, he'll go back into the market and get at least 1 or 2 more players. Maybe attacking wise, maybe 1 more even for defense. Because William Saliba, so he needs to get his best foot forward before the season begins. And I understand the pressure with him now. Exclusive from Vini Jr. So, yeah, guys, listen. Jose Mourinho personally involved in Vinicius Jr.'s new contract discussions as he's been pushing for the Brazilian to stay. Real Madrid are confident. Jose told the club he wants Vini to stay and also told Vini about plans for him to continue. I mean, I said it earlier. That was going to be the thing that would help Abrantiano. The fact that Jose is in the mix. He'll be able to cause the player to be... And very important. I'm thinking about it, thinking, coach Xabi Alonso and I say Alvarez, would he have been influential in helping Vini to stay by helping him to negotiate in terms of the contract? I don't think so. Or it may not have been as influential as we are seeing Jose Mourinho have over the player right now. Yeah, that is how I'm seeing it. That is how I'm seeing it. All right. In Semno I have a couple of stories here. Amede Bremo. In the next few minutes, guys, please subscribe, comment, share, everything that you need to do to promote this channel, guys. I'm really happy that you are here to watch this video. Young Koswani and support it. And we'll have very great discussions over here. Yeah, guys, Liverpool are exploring a move for PSG winger Ibrahim Mbaye this summer. I know I'm the 18-year-old could cost up to £43 million, with Liverpool pursuing the deal separately from the interest in Bradley Barcola. So PSG's demand for Barcola remains £145 million. Liverpool, some people call for Ibrahim Mbaye. Any Barcola, if the PSG, they will have to spend something within the region of £200 million. That is what the Times is speculating. And that is very interesting because Liverpool, I think they have made up their mind that Barcola is going to come. But Ibrahim Mbaye is here. That's a very great addition. Oh, yes. Great addition. 2 hours ago, Real Madrid have agreed a deal worth up to 140 million euros for RB Leipzig player Jan Diomande. Hey, Charlie, in the same way, they also. Jan Diomande, still, the agreement is worth around 125 million. So I think that's a fixed fee. Then 15 million in add-ons, with a 19-year-old set to travel for his medical. And the green light in Puma. Diomande is under contract until 2030. Right? PSG withdrew the race, while Liverpool also showed interest earlier in the summer. This according to The Athletic. So those are the stories coming in from the transfer. We do now. Guys, me say Barcelona for so I'm not happy with Ferran Torres. So interesting. PSG want to complete a move for Ferran Torres before he returns to Barcelona training on August 12th. Barcelona would only consider a sale if the player rejects a new contract. Right? With the club seeking at least 55 million euros. Ferran is yet to give PSG the green light, but the French club are pushing to advance talk quickly. This according to Sports, that they are real Sports from Spain. Hey, okay. So sell or renew Ferran Torres. The important thing is to value him. Barca fans have every right in the world to feel upset about Ferran Torres' statements regarding his future. So that's another saga. We'll keep our eyes on that, guys. This has been Onside with me, Joshua Hollow. So I'll come your way later in the day with more transfer updates. You can also call me Top High Fabrizio. Until I come your way again, I'll see you in the next one.